back to my channel. It's been a couple weeks. Sorry about that. So after the first test, you know how it goes. Second test comes, then the third test comes. It's been a minute, but we have made it through midterms, or at least what would be midterms. We don't really have midterms, we just have tests 1 through 4. So halfway through the semester, and I'm doing pretty well. I am understanding a lot more than I did the first time around. I'll say that. I don't want to say that the tests are easier. It's just I feel like I'm understanding more how everything is structured and what they expect of me. So anyway, today's video is going to be how I'm studying right now to actually pass my tests. Because let's be honest, last semester I failed to study. So studied and I failed. Or the little bit that I did study, failed. So let's have a real chat right now and just talk about some things. Okay, let's get into it. So, failed my first semester, and what I started doing is I would not read the chapter, basically wouldn't even look in the book. The first test, I looked in the book, looked at the boxes and tables and things like that for maybe the first chapter, very first chapter. And I understood the information. I was like, okay, cool, I get it, I understand it. But I couldn't apply it at all. So say if they said, I'll do orthostatic hypotension. Say, hey, your patient such and so is laying in bed, and then when they sat up in bed, they got really, really dizzy. What's the first assessment that you should do? And of course you want to look at the patient. That's the first thing you want to do. Look at the patient, assess the patient, see if there's anything on the patient. Like if there's say it's a woman and she has a corset on, or something like that. Maybe it's compressing her lungs, she can't really breathe, so she's getting really winded and dizzy because of lack of oxygen. Look at the patient. Then blood pressure. You want to check the blood pressure. Well, that's what they're teaching us. You want to check the blood pressure because if there's a difference between when they're laying down versus when they're sitting up, or when they're sitting up versus when they're standing up, then there's a problem there. Most likely orthostatic hypotension, but there's a problem there. So I understood the material, didn't know how to apply it, didn't know what it was to apply it, didn't know what it was to critical think. And it's kind of unfortunate that in nursing school, people keep talking about, hey, you gotta critical think. You gotta think like a nurse. You gotta critical think. You're not critically thinking. What does that mean? And for me, I still kind of don't know what it means, but I'm still putting it together. For me, it's looking at the whole picture and not focusing on one thing, and seeing what can you as a nurse do independently to put your patient in a safer place, or in a safer position, or in a better position than they are now before you go to the doctor. Because you're with that patient, and if that patient is, say, not responding, or not breathing or something like that, it's your job to do everything you can before you bring in other people. Now, say of course you see them like turning blue and not breathing, chest not moving, anything like that, of course you'll probably call a rapid response. But if you see like labored breathing or something like that, of course the first thing you do, eyes on the patient, assess. And then you're going to raise up the head of the bed. Say it's just kind of hard for them. Say they're overweight, and it's just kind of hard for them to breathe laying on their back with so much pressure on their chest and their lungs. And you sit them up, and then their oxygen saturation starts coming up, and they start to be able to breathe a little better. You wouldn't call a doctor for that, because you, as a nurse, independently did something that put your patient in a better position than they were in when you walked in. So, for critically thinking, that's what I think they mean. Thinking on your feet in the critical moments. When something's wrong with your patient, you need to be able to think at a quick rate and have it be something that won't further agitate the situation. Something that will actually help. Or something that you can see that you're like, okay, I've done this, I've done that, and it's still not working. Okay, something is seriously wrong now. Because I've done all that I can do as a nurse. Something is seriously wrong. Now it's time for me to call a doctor. Now it's time for me to touch rapid response. Now it's time for me to call help and get another set of eyes to see if I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing. So, it's very hard when they throw out terms and expect a new nursing student to know that. Hey, critically think. Well, I haven't had to do that, so you're gonna have to explain what it is first, and then show me how to do that. Don't just tell me to do it. And that's one of the things I very struggle with. I get frustrated sometimes when people tell me things and just expect me to know what it is or how to do it. And then when I ask them, they don't take the time out to tell me. Like, even give me a little synopsis. You don't have to go in detail most of the time, but give me a little synopsis of what you're trying to lead me towards. So, and here's the thing. Studying helps that. Studying helps that. It all comes back down to studying. Oh. So, this semester, I tried to get ahead, but it didn't really work out for me because I like to stay with the material. And I've basically been using one book. This huge book. And put all my sticky notes and markers in it so that I can find things easily. But what I've done is I'll go in on our Canvas. I'll look at the videos, look at the lectures. If anything is recorded, I will look at that. And 9 times out of 10, I've seen it the first time when it was a live lecture. So I'll probably do 2 times or double speed just so I can get through it really quickly, so I can just have everything that they're saying fresh on my mind. Then I will open my book, and like I said, I'm only using one book right now. I mean, I have like 3 or 4 other books that I can use, but I primarily feel like all of the information is in this book, and some of these other textbooks just repeat the information. Like, I've literally seen, I went through this one book, and then there was another set of pages in like volume 2 or 3 of the nursing concepts, and it was the exact pages. Like, it looked like they copied and pasted out of this book into the other one, or out of that book into the other one. But they literally copy and pasted. So I'm like, there's no sense in me wasting my time looking through 2 sets of books that contain the same information. I'm just gonna get it all from one book. So I go to the chapter, look at all of the vocabulary words. Sometimes there is a ton. Like, I'm talking about like 60 or 70 vocabulary words, but I write them all down. All of them, I write them all down with the definition. And I don't necessarily read the text at this point, but I will write all of them down. That's the first thing I do, because sometimes they use this vocabulary in certain questions, and if you don't know what that word means, that could be the determining factor if you get that question right or wrong. So I definitely try to familiarize myself with it. I don't study it too hard, because I feel like, yeah, it's a good thing to do, but I feel like it would be too tedious and too much of a waste of time to like memorize these words. Eventually you'll memorize them as you use them and things like that, as you hear them, as you remember what they are. But I just try to familiarize myself with them, so just in case I see them on a test, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that word means. That should be associated with this function, or I should be looking for this, or you know what, that might not be associated with this, or it's a select all that apply. I remember the definition of that, so that has to be associated with this topic. So I actually had two select all that applies on my second test, and one of them I forgot the definition to. Oh my god, I forgot the definition to. But something just said it was right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna select it, because I remember it being brought up around the topic. So it's like, I'm doing it. I'm like, I had already counted those 2 points out. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll get my grade back. Today is Saturday, so on Monday. But anyway, so write down all the vocabulary words, look through them, familiarize myself with them, and then I will look at the SLOs or SLAs, depending on which teacher writes them. But they're basically student learning outcomes, and they basically are like, describe temperature and the components that basically, I guess it would be, I forget how they put it, but it the factors affecting temperature. So it'd be like, describe temperature and the factors affecting temperature, or something like that, or the factors affecting blood pressure, or things like that. So those would be like two separate SLOs. So you would go in the book, and of course there's a section in that chapter that says factors affecting blood pressure, big letters. So we'll write all that information down. Of course I was shorthanded, but I would write all of that down, and make sure that I do all of the SLOs, and make sure that I'm understanding stuff as I'm writing it down, because I don't just want to be copying things down and not taking anything in. That's the reason why I stopped writing the lectures. Last semester I rewrote all of the lectures by hand, and it was a complete waste of time, a complete waste of my time, because I was spending so much focusing on finishing the notes and not enough on understanding the notes. So that I completely put out. I'm a printer girl right now. Like, when I tell you I have copies and copies of things, like, I'm pretty much printed out every sheet that they gave us, and that's been helping me out. I'll just go through it and put sticky notes on it, right next to it, anything that needs to be added or anything like that. I really don't write too much on the notes. Again, I felt like it was a complete waste of time. And here's the thing, I learn by writing things. I was always taught to get stuff like locked in your head. You're right, keep writing. So for me to say that writing those lecture notes was a waste of time is a big deal. a big deal because anything that I've ever tried to memorize, I wrote down. And I guess that's the difference between nursing school and other types of school, is this information is not meant to be memorized, to apply it. It's meant for you to understand it and be able to somewhat recall it in different situations and be able to pick out the pertinent information to be able to use it and help a patient. So it's not that they're going to ask you, hey, what is a stage 1 blood pressure? Hey, what is the definition of orthostatic hypotension? No, it's going to be like, your patient was lying down and sat up and got dizzy. What are the vital signs that you should be looking at? And you would think, oh, I remember hypostatic hypertension, hypotension. So you would look down at one of those options and see if that's there. So, when I tell you, it has been so much better this semester. Like, I'm kind of too afraid to get excited because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and not keep putting the work in and end up failing again, because that's my worst fear, is failing this class again. I really want to be a nurse. Like, today at clinicals, well, I'm in my scrubs, but today at clinicals, I'm telling you, I feel so natural being on the floor. I feel like I finally belong somewhere. Like, when I was taking my prerequisites and I was going for my biology major, I felt so out of place. I was like, I don't belong here. Like, I hate this. Like, I dreaded going to school every day because I didn't like what I was learning at all. And switching over to nursing, it's like, it's a breath of fresh air, really. It's like, yeah, you get stressed. Yeah, some things are unfair. But at the end of the day, you're doing something that you love. You're doing something that is worth something. And not to say that all professions aren't worth something. It's just how I particularly feel about nursing. Like, I've always been the helpful person, and I love having that interaction with patients. Like, joking with patients, patients being so grateful that you're there, that you're taking care of them. Especially grateful for the nursing students, because we're newbies, and also we don't have to. I hate to put it this way, but nursing students can basically do the bare minimum of patient care and clinicals and just get by. Some instructors won't let it happen, but some instructors, it is what it is. So, them being grateful for our presence there, and the nurses being grateful for our presence there, it's just an amazing feeling. And I'm just like, I cannot wait to graduate. Like, I feel like a nurse already when I'm on the floor going to see patients, going in out patients' rooms, and it's like, it's really awesome. I can't put it into words. It is just a really awesome feeling, and I'm really excited for these next 3 semesters. I just hope that I stay motivated to do the work, because there will be some points in time where you'll be like, oh, I don't feel like it, and things like that. Like, right now, I'm just like, I'm off of clinicals, putting my feet up, don't really feel like studying, but I'll probably knock out a few flashcards for pharm, because we have a test coming up next week. So this is it. This is nursing school. But everybody says it'll be worth it, and I truly, truly believe it. I truly believe it. But this is how I'm studying, and I was thinking about if I wanted to say my grade that I got for the first test, and I wasn't going to, but I'll go ahead and let you guys know. I got an 80 on my first test. Yay! So apparently something is being retained up here. Something. And I'm not quite sure if my study habit is working. I just know that I'm understanding a lot more than I did last semester, and I'm picking up on a lot more than last semester. So hopefully that continues, because your girl want to get to second semester. But we'll see what happens now. One note, I probably will, instead of posting every Sunday for the nursing series, I will probably post maybe every other Sunday, or every 3 Sundays. I haven't quite figured it out yet, because I did start working at another job, so a lot of my time is kind of spent doing things for me. So we'll see. I think I'll probably stick to every other Sunday posting, but I think I still want to do every Wednesday. Definitely get a video out for you guys every week. I just don't know if I'll be able to handle 2 videos a week, especially because I have to film, and then I have to edit it, and I also have to just figure out and put together the content for you guys. It's like a few of my videos I wasn't really impressed with and really comfortable with putting out, because I was in such a rushed state when I made the video that I don't feel like I did my best on those videos. And with YouTube, people watch other people who have good content, because you want to be able to take something away from that video, whether it's entertainment, whether it's informational, or anything like that. So I want to be able to make good content for you guys, and for you guys to join the fam. One more thing, and I'll let you guys go. So I noticed that most of you guys watch my videos but don't subscribe. If you can go ahead and click that subscribe button, it'll only take you 1 second. That would be much appreciated. I am a small channel, but I hope to grow, because I think a lot of people could really use and take something away from the content that I'm providing you guys. So you just show me some love. That'll be awesome. Even if you want to just thumbs up the video, but show me some love. So anyway, guys, I will see you next week sometime, probably on a Wednesday. I'm gonna post this probably tomorrow on Sunday, just so I can get a video out for you guys, and then it'll go back to our regular Wednesdays. So sorry this is not a series update, but I will be working on that for you. Again, I just want to create the best content for you guys. All right, anyway, click subscribe, don't forget, thumbs up and share. Also, for my series, comment what kind of nurse you want me to do next. What are you interested in? Cardiac, CRNA, LPN? What are you interested in? Let me know.